In fact, I wasn't just lucky that I was ready when the luck happened. I overcame my childhood just by sheer determination.
By crafting a beautiful spell of warmth, humor, and scrumptious recipes that have left audiences entranced, Ina Garten has charmed her way into the hearts of millions of people. She has been likened to a culinary fairy godmother. On the other hand, beneath the entrancing exterior of her lovely demeanor is a concealed tragedy, a dark history that is beyond devastating, which has haunted her life with the shadow of loss and despair. We invite you to join us as we delve beneath the elegant facade of the Barefoot Contessa and uncover the untold story of the famous Ina Garten, a lady whose indomitable spirit and perseverance in the face of tragedy have inspired many fans all over the world. It is vital to spend a few moments to learn more about Ina before we go with the section of her life that is both tragic and puzzling. Earlier years of Ina Garten's life. From a Jewish family, Ina Rosenberg was born in Brooklyn, which is located in the city of New York. The transfer of her grandparents from Russia to the United States of America occurred. During her childhood, Rosenberg was the youngest of two siblings in her family. She was raised in Stamford, Connecticut. Florence Rosenberg, her mother, worked as a nutritionist, and her father, Charles H. Rosenberg, was a surgeon who specialized in otolaryngology. The harsh behavior that her father displayed against his children contributed to the tough climate that existed within their household. While she was reflecting on her youth, she made the observation that despite the difficulties she encountered in her personal life, she was driven to achieve academic success and demonstrated a significant interest in the scientific field, which she subsequently utilized in her trials with cooking. Due to the fact that Garten's mother was an academic and opera enthusiast, she discouraged her daughter from working in the kitchen and instead urged her to put her education first. Garten has described her father as someone who thrived in social situations, and she acknowledges that she has more similarities with him than she has with her mother. In the beginning, her parents were skeptical about her choice to pursue a career in the culinary arts. But as time went on, they became more encouraging of her decision. When she was 15 years old, she went to visit her brother at Dartmouth College, where she eventually crossed paths with Jeffrey Garten, who would later become her husband. Following the completion of her high school education, she enrolled at Syracuse University to pursue a degree in economics. Subsequently, she continued her education at the George Washington University School of Business. During the ceremony that took place in Stamford on December 22, 1968, Jeffrey and Ina exchanged their vows before heading to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. During the time when Jeffrey was serving a 4-year military commitment during the Vietnam War, Ina began to experiment with cooking and arranging events as a means of keeping herself occupied. Additionally, she was successful in obtaining her pilot's license. The two of them embarked on a camping vacation around Europe for a period of 4 months after Jeffrey completed his military service. During their trip, they had a significant stop in France, which is what ignited Ina's interest in French cuisine. It was via this contact that she was able to experience the colorful atmosphere of outdoor markets, farm vendors, and fresh ingredients for cooking. At this point in time, life was getting her ready for something quite significant, and she was fast to seize the opportunity. Subsequent to her return to the United States, Ina made it a priority to enhance her culinary skills by gaining knowledge from the recipes of Simone Beck, Louisette Berthold, and Julia Child, particularly from their popular handbook, Mastering the Art of French Cooking. During this period of time, the practice of holding weekly dinner parties became a well-liked tradition, and Ina had the opportunity to hone her talents as a hostess after the couple moved to Washington, District of Columbia, in 1972. Now let's take a look at how she became a famous person. During the time when Jeffrey was working at the State Department and earning his doctorate at Johns Hopkins School for Advanced International Studies, Garten was employed at the White House in Washington. Garten began his professional life working for the Federal Power Commission. Subsequently, he moved on to work for the White House Office of Management and Budget. After everything was said and done, she became a budget analyst and was given the responsibility of developing the budget for nuclear energy, as well as writing policy papers on nuclear centrifuge facilities during the administrations of Presidents Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter. Garten also made the decision to acquire skills in the culinary arts and hosting while working at OMB. All of this was accomplished while Garten was purchasing and renovating older homes in the DuPont Circle neighborhood of Kalorama. Her subsequent business endeavor, the Barefoot Contessa boutique food shop, was funded by the profits she made from the real estate projects she had previously undertaken. Contessa, who is barefoot. In 1978, Garten quit her job working for the government after she discovered an advertisement for a specialized food shop in West Hampton Beach, New York, named Barefoot Contessa. The shop was 400 square feet in size. Following a period of 4 years, she reflected on her time spent working in Washington and stated that although it was mentally stimulating and exciting, it did not match with who she was. A further point that she brought up was that the promotion of greater autonomy for both herself and her spouse was beneficial to their marriage. Due to the fact that their prior arrangement, which was more conventional and had Jeffrey serving as the head of the family, had grown oppressive, they decided to temporarily separate. Following her visit to the store, she took the choice to purchase it. Subsequently, she relocated to New York, where she frequently worked shifts that lasted for 12 hours. Garten chose to preserve the name of the store because it reflected her concept of a sophisticated yet down-to-earth style of living. The name of the store was taken from a movie of the same name that was released in 1954 and starred Ava Gardner. It was surprising to see that she had not yet seen the movie by the year 2006. Over the course of 3 years, Garten moved Barefoot Contessa to a larger facility on the opposite side of Main Street. In 1985, she moved the store to the location in East Hampton that had previously been occupied by Dean and the DeLuca Gourmet Shop. As opposed to the summer beach lifestyle that West Hampton is known for, East Hampton is home to residents who live there year-round, which results in a wider client pool. Garten increased the size of the business by more than 7 times, taking it from 400 square feet, 37 square meters, to nearly 3,000 square feet, 280 square meters, throughout the course of this larger space. The most recent retail establishment provided customers with a wide selection of gourmet goods, including lobster Cobb salad, caviar, exotic cheeses, and locally grown veggies. Anna Pump, who eventually owned both Loaves and Fish's specialty food store and the Bridgehampton Inn, was one of the local cooks and bakers whom Garten recruited to help expand the firm. Garten was also responsible for the expansion of the business. Famous clients, such as Steven Spielberg, have praised the store in public on a number of different media channels, which has brought the company a lot of attention. Garten made the decision to make a shift in 1996 after she had been operating Barefoot Contessa for 20 years. She sold the business to her workers Amy Forst and Parker Hodges, maintaining ownership of the building throughout the transaction. When unsure about her next career step, she decided to take a 1-year break from working in the culinary industry and set up an office above the store. Throughout this period, her main focus was on researching the stock market and developing concepts for upcoming business ventures. At the same time, her website, Barefoot Contessa, became popular as she started offering her coffees and various products for sale on the internet. In 2003, Barefoot Contessa became a popular gathering place in East Hampton, catching the eye of director Nancy Meyers, who chose it as a filming spot for the movie Something's Gotta Give, starring Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton. The shop ended up shutting down in 2003 due to the lease ending, and talks between Garten, the owner of the building, and the new owners didn't work out. Garten decided against reopening the store, but kept the property for possible future renters. By 2024, the space is being used by a Rag & Bone store, rebranding. In 1999, Garten revived her career by concentrating on publishing. She expanded the Barefoot Contessa brand by releasing the Barefoot Contessa cookbook in 1999, which became an unexpected bestseller. This book far exceeded Garten and Clarkson Potter's expectations by featuring the recipes that made her store successful. In the first year, Garten managed to sell more than 100,000 copies, leading to more printings after the first 25,000 cookbooks were sold out. In 2001, Barefoot Contessa Parties was released to critical acclaim and strong sales, followed by Barefoot Contessa Family Style in 2002. Both the Barefoot Contessa Cookbook and Parties were honored with nominations for James Beard Awards in the category of Entertaining and Special Occasion Cookbooks in the years 2000 and 2002, respectively. The surprise nomination for parties was unexpected, considering Garten was considered inexperienced compared to established nominees like Jacques Pepin and Brian St. Pierre. In the culinary world, Ina Garten, known for her Barefoot Contessa brand, has left a lasting impact with her cookbooks, famous for their colorful and photos. In order to make the recipes visually appealing and interesting to the readers, each one is accompanied by a large photograph that has been carefully selected. Garten's cookbooks have been favorably reviewed overall, despite the fact that some critics have asserted that the emphasis on photography diminishes the amount of space available for specific recipes and directions. Giada De Laurentiis, a fellow chef and television personality, publicly acknowledged Garten as one of her preferred authors in 2005. This exemplifies the high regard that Garten is held in the world of culinary arts. By the year 2023, Garten will have published 13 cookbooks, which have collectively sold more than 14 million copies. This demonstrates both her fame and the enduring allure of her culinary creations. The New Yorker has gone so far as to call her the present queen of tastefully employed butterfat in the United States of America. Her recipes are regularly commended for their complexity and indulgence, and the New Yorker has gone in that direction. Garten's distinctive culinary technique is encapsulated in this remark, which frequently highlights the use of nutritious ingredients that enrich her recipes. How was she able to manage the shop? Despite this, not all of the feedback has been completely good. Since 2010, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine has voiced their worry with Garten's cookbook, Barefoot Contessa, How Easy Is That?, due to the fact that it contains meat and dairy products that are high in cholesterol, fat, and calories. As a result of the organization's decision to declare it one of the 5 worst cookbooks of that year in terms of nutrition, a conversation ensued over the appropriate balance between the desire to indulge in cooking and the responsibility of cookbook authors to promote healthier eating patterns. Eric Felton, a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, defended Garten after he was subjected to criticism. He characterized the piece as an assault on cookbooks that go beyond lentils. The disagreement is brought to light by this statement. Even when all is said and done, Garten's recipe books continue to inspire amateur cooks with their appealing layouts and delicious flavors, all while tackling the obstacles that are associated with contemporary nutritional issues. Now, how did she go to the next level in her professional career? Making it more interesting, in 2002, Garten reached the pinnacle of her career when she launched her own program on the Food Network. Garten's career began to take off after she became well known for her cookbooks and her television appearances on Martha Stewart's show. It was after the successful releases of the Barefoot Contessa cookbook and Barefoot Contessa parties that she was approached by the Food Network with the request to star in a cooking show at their network. The initial collaboration that Garten attempted to build with Stewart's production firm in the year 2000 was unsuccessful due to the fact that she had difficulty dealing with the large television team and the rigid format. However, when Pacific, a production company based in London that is well known for Nigella Bites, presented a show with a smaller staff and a more laid-back environment, she agreed to a 13-episode season. This led to the successful launch of Barefoot Contessa in the year 2002. In the program, Garten's husband and their group of friends are featured heavily, and the program primarily invites celebrities who are directly familiar with Garten. Barefoot Contessa attracts an audience of approximately 1 million viewers per episode, contributing to some of the highest ratings recorded by the Food Network. In 2005, the series received a nomination for a Daytime Emmy Award in the Best Service Show category. Subsequently, in 2009, both the show and Garten were nominated again for Daytime Emmy Awards, this time in the categories of Best Culinary Program and Best Culinary Host, with Garten securing her first Emmy in the latter. That same year, Garten revealed that she had entered into a 3-year contract with the Food Network to continue her culinary series and planned to publish 2 additional cookbooks following Barefoot Contessa at home. Reports indicated that she received the most lucrative contract for a culinary author to date, involving a multi-million-dollar agreement for multiple publications. Despite receiving numerous proposals to create her own magazine, furniture line, cookware collection, and a chain of boutiques similar to Martha Stewart's Omnimedia, Garten declined these opportunities expressing a desire to avoid complicating her life further. In 2023, her book Barefoot Contessa Go-To Dinners achieved remarkable success, selling over 800,000 copies and reaching the top position on the New York Times bestseller list. In 2022, Garten introduced Be My Guest on Discovery and the Food Network, a show in which she invites celebrities for visits. By 2006, famous cooking specialist Ina Garten, known for her user-friendly cooking methods and best-selling cookbooks, started a new project with her partner Frank Newbold. They started a unique series of pre-packaged food items under the trademark Barefoot Contessa Pantry. Through a collaboration with Stonewall Kitchen, a renowned company specializing in gourmet food products, this groundbreaking project was able to come to fruition. Additionally to the food store, Barefoot Contessa Pantry Collection was created to make Garten's beloved homemade recipes accessible to more people, providing convenience without sacrificing quality. The assortment of products offered consisted of a range of delicious items that mirrored Garten's cooking principles, like decadent coconut cupcakes, robust maple oatmeal scones, flavorful mango chutney, and tart lemon curd dot. Every item was designed to bring out the cozy and familiar feelings of homemade dishes, helping customers replicate those cherished flavors at home more effortlessly. Nevertheless, the higher cost of these items was a result of their high-quality standards, which reflected the luxurious characteristics of the products. For example, it was recommended that one box of brownie mix be sold for $10, putting the brand in the category of upscale choices for food lovers. These specially selected products were only sold at high-end kitchenware and gourmet shops, guaranteeing they were purchased by a sophisticated customer base. Prominent stores like Crate and Barrel, Sur la Table, and Chicago's Fox and Obel Market Cafe served customers looking for top-notch culinary goods. By undertaking this endeavor, Garten not only grew her business, but also emphasized her dedication to offering outstanding culinary experiences, enabling her cooking enthusiasts to savor their favorite tastes in a convenient pre-prepared form. The Barefoot Contessa Pantry Collection showcased her belief that delicious food should be within reach and pleasurable, even for those leading hectic lives. After her first 3 successful cookbooks garnered high praise for their easy yet elegant recipes, she delved deeper into the culinary world with her latest book, Barefoot in Paris. This book not just demonstrated her passion for French cooking, but also confirmed her status as an expert in the culinary field. She not only wrote, but also provided columns for the Oprah magazine, where she shared her knowledge and thoughts on entertaining, cooking, and party planning. Being a consultant for the magazine enabled her to connect with a larger audience, giving readers helpful advice and ideas for creating unforgettable events. Until 2011, she was a much-loved writer for House Beautiful, a well-known home magazine, where her regular column, Ask the Barefoot Contessa, was a must-read for those in need of advice. In this column, she tackled different questions about cooking, hosting, and lifestyle, utilizing her vast expertise to provide insightful and useful guidance. Her friendly manner and relatable knowledge connected with readers, establishing her as a reliable figure in the home and hospitality realm. Besides writing and consulting, she grew her brand by launching a small range of note cards and journals that were created to enhance her books and allow supporters to connect with her cooking beliefs. These products showed her belief in the happiness of sharing recipes and moments with loved ones, further strengthening her bond with her audience. Additionally, she provided her knowledge to other culinary writers by writing the introductions for well-known cookbooks, such as Kathleen King's Tate's Bake Shop Cookbook and Rory Travato's Dishing with Style. These donations not only demonstrated her backing for other cooks, but also emphasized her dedication to promoting exceptional cuisine. Through her various endeavors, she has continued to inspire home cooks and entertainers alike, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of modern cooking and hospitality. One of her highly acclaimed dishes, the lemon roast chicken with croutons, was featured in the Best American Recipes from 2005 to 2006, highlighting her skill in creating flavorful yet simple meals. This specific recipe showcases her talent for transforming common ingredients into something exceptional, earning it popularity with cooks and food lovers. Another one of Garten's favorite dishes was also included in today's Kitchen Cookbook, which showcases the most loved recipes from the Today Show. This acknowledgement strengthened her reputation as a reliable provider of tasty and simple recipes that attract a large audience. In Thanksgiving 2010, her recipes were featured prominently on Google's homepage, significantly boosting her impact in the culinary world. This rare visibility not only presented her to a larger audience, but also emphasized her influence on modern cooking and holiday customs. And by June 2012, Garten started a blog on Facebook to share her cooking tips and personal stories, embracing the digital era. The reaction was immense, with her gaining more than 100,000 followers in only 3 weeks. Her talent in engaging with fans and food enthusiasts was emphasized by the quick expansion of her online community, which revolves around her love for cooking. In 2019, she partnered with her friend and writer, Cheryl Haft, to include her beloved potato latkes recipe in the kids' book, Goodnight Bubala. This lovely offering displayed not just her cooking skills, but also demonstrated her dedication to passing down the joy of cooking to future generations, guaranteeing that her treasured recipes will be handed down to families. Garten has become a cherished icon in the culinary realm by engaging in a variety of projects, motivating numerous people to delve into the world of cooking. The husband of the famous chef, Jeffrey Garten, has achieved success in government and academia. During the Bill Clinton administration from 1993 to 1995, he held the position of Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade, where he played a key role in shaping U.S. trade policy during a crucial period in the nation's economic history. Following his time in politics, Garten moved into the academic field and served as the Dean of the Yale School of Management from 1995 to 2005. His leadership at Yale played a key role in molding the future business leaders, and he is frequently acknowledged for his impact on the realm of management education. In addition to his achievements in his career, Jeffrey often appears on his partner's well-known cooking program. In the program, he assumes different tasks, like helping with cooking, sharing his knowledge on cooking methods, and sampling the tasty food she makes. The connection they display on screen and their light-hearted exchanges have won over viewers, highlighting not just their bond, but also their mutual love for food and cooking. The couple leads an active lifestyle, dividing their time among multiple homes. They own residences in Manhattan, where they can experience city life, a getaway in East Hampton for relaxation, and a home in Paris, famous for its food and romantic setting. This varied living situation demonstrates their fondness for culture, food, and artistic expression. Jeffrey Garten is officially affiliated with the Democratic Party in New York and has consistently backed different political candidates. He has made significant donations to the campaign funds of various presidents like George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, John Kerry, and Barack Obama, showing a readiness to support political candidates. A new collaboration with a top technology company was revealed by the company to enhance their online offerings. She arranged a fundraising event for Planned Parenthood in 2004. However, she has mostly avoided participating in public political discussions, expressing in an interview with The New Yorker in 2024, "I believe I wouldn't influence people's opinions." In addition, Garten was a member of the Design Review Board for East Hampton, which oversaw the approval of construction permits and architectural and design elements within the village. The goal of these is to outline the historical authenticity of the district while improving the overall aesthetics of the area. Garten has collaborated with Deborah Davis on a memoir called Be Ready When the Luck Happens, set to be published in October 2024. Now let's dive into her devastating movement and how she navigated it. Fatal challenges. According to Ina during an interview, she excelled in her studies and flourished in school, in sharp contrast to her unhappy home life. But her father was especially difficult when dealing with her and her brother. When looking back on the 1950s, it was a very different time without the hovering parenting style seen in today's child rearing, where parents focus on supporting their children's emotions. Her father frequently stated that being a parent was not about being liked, a perspective he used to justify his strict style, demanding our unquestioning obedience over our own wants. This control clashed with her inner desire for independence, causing noticeable tension. Furthermore, she had a real dread of her father. She can clearly remember times when she thought he might hurt her if she never or didn't obey. The imminent danger of violence created a widespread feeling of dread, prompting Ina to withdraw to her bedroom, where she sought nothing but safety behind closed doors. She said, "This lack probably helped shape my growing belief in the significance of connections as I got older. I also felt like she was trying to prevent me from helping with cooking in order to have control over her own space and independence. It was evident that her mother's intention was to help her access her." During the interview, she said again, "Turning my room into a place of refuge. I made amends with my father after he apologized in his own way, a gesture my mother never acknowledged. Upon looking back at my youth, I acknowledged that I did not possess courage. I was consumed by dread. If I had been brave, I would have stood up to them, asserting my own decisions in opposition to what they expected." Ina didn't want to live her life like that. This is because frequently people opt to change their lives, but may end up reverting back to old habits. She was resolute in my decision to prevent that outcome. Later on, she met Jeffrey, who exposed her to a completely new way of life. His transformation was due to his unwavering positivity, kindness, and support. This situation was completely different from how she was raised, with constant criticism of my actions. Now she received validation for her decisions, although neither extreme may be completely true. A key element of their connection was acknowledging the significance they held in each other's lives. While he was in Thailand or Hong Kong, Ina was confident that he would prioritize her needs just like she would for him. Not having kids allowed them more freedom to follow our dreams, and he always prioritized Ina's goals over his own, making sure she chased her passions first before his dot. In One for the Book, she started by saying, "I now disclose a never-before-shared experience of briefly being apart from Jeffrey, a detail I hadn't thought necessary to reveal before due to the nature of my cookbook writing career." Ever since this revelation, Ina also repeated that she has met women who have found it challenging to shift their relationships from traditional husband-wife roles to a more equal partnership. Looking back at the 1970s, it was clear that Jeffrey had expectations of getting married and having a wife. For example, Ina was expected to cook while he managed money, which resulted in roles that she found frustrating. This is evident when she said, "I felt the need to stop and get his focus," a choice that ended up being advantageous. After Ina's first summer working at the store, she headed back to Washington, while Jeffrey set off on a major 3-month international tour arranged by the State Department. Jeffrey recommended that they remain in their house while he is away to think about his goals. Before he left, Ina thought it would be beneficial for him to also consider their relationship. Although they made plans to reunite in California when he came back, and while they were apart, both experienced personal development and self-reflection about our wants and the independence they wanted to give each other. Jeffrey struggled with the idea that, as the spouse, he should not go on long trips. In the end, we restructured their connection, nurturing an alliance instead of following conventional standards. My relationship with Jeffrey is defined by harmony. He genuinely supports my wishes, which makes it difficult to argue. He comes to our relationship with a cooperative attitude, looking for resolutions that address the desires of both of us. Ina said during an interview. When they got together, he was in the military while Ina was furthering her education. Ina notifies us that one day at 11 a.m. I was engrossed in a TV show about a young woman living alone in New York, a storyline that seemed especially intense at that time. He looked at me and said, "I must figure out the path for my life. Without that understanding, happiness would not be possible." I had never thought about this idea before, as I had always dreamed of getting married in my childhood, which I eventually did by marrying a truly amazing man. Despite the fact that Jeffrey was the one who initially suggested that Ina actively seek something for herself, she is really grateful for that advice because it significantly altered the path that my life would take from that point on. When she remarked, "I believe Jeffrey expects me to make a variation of chicken, but I plan to astonish him with pasticcio, which is similar to a Greek version of lasagna," she was referring to one of the wonderful times that they shared together. My mind was completely blown by the idea of appearing on television. It was beyond my comprehension that anyone would be interested in watching me on screen. Ina shared her thoughts on the inspiration for her culinary project. According to her, she attributes it to a kind-hearted person named Eileen from the Food Network, who consistently inspired her and shown her confidence in her ability to complete this job. I continued to refuse for a year and a half because I was afraid that she could have misunderstood me as saying that I was trying to negotiate. But in reality, I had no interest in taking part. After receiving a recommendation from a friend who had watched a show in Australia, I contacted the Food Network to request that they send me the show, and they were nice enough to send it to me. My opinion was that the production was outstanding, but the fact that Nigella Lawson was a part of it made me realize that I am not like her. Following that, I was approached by the producer of the Food Network, and during the course of a thought-provoking conversation, I came to the realization that she understood that I was not attempting to emulate Nigella Lawson. It was nothing more than me being my genuine self. In an interview, Ina admits that she is aware of this. When she received a letter from Jennifer Garner expressing her desire to appear on her cooking program, she responded by sending her a letter that was polite, as is customary in cases like these, noting that the individuals in question are, in fact, her friends. This was one of the decisions that she found to be challenging. After then, she entered the room and claimed that she had not been aware that it was Jennifer Garner, the person she had been looking for. Shortly after that, while the show was being filmed in Los Angeles, she reached out to Jennifer to offer a partnership for a section. Jennifer agreed to perform the piece, and it just so happened to be her 40th birthday at the time. Therefore, Ina was graciously invited to join her birthday celebration, and it turned out to be a wonderful occasion. The event was attended by 40 women who were dressed in casual attire, namely sweatpants, and they were instructed to retain their hair in ponytails without any extra treatment. Ina had a wonderful time at the event, which was made possible by the wonderful atmosphere that was created by these incredible women. Jennifer has been participating in the performance as of late, which was a very wonderful experience. Her unusual manner on the culinary program, which appears to be a hilarious parody of Barefoot Contessa, was something that Ina admired. You should click the next video that appears on your screen, as well as like and subscribe to this video if you found it entertaining.